Hello?
Are you having internet woes?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
You sound meek.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Can you hear
good.
us?
I was like, I've been talking and talking, but I don't think you guys could hear me.
No, we didn't before this.
Now you're delayed again, though, Cindy.
Hello?
Uh-oh.
Okay, when I say three, say hello. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
I guess that says it all.
She's like, you said hello, I said goodbye.
So you name your trees. You name them.
You said that like Elmer Fudd, I just have to say. Like, you know.
My grandson was asking me, so what do you see, what you don't see? I said, well, you don't.
Did you say bell bottoms? Bell bottoms.
Oh, you're making it worse.
You're like, I look so good in this outfit, too. Like, you're styling. And I asked my husband, I was like, why do I have to keep veering? He's like, because you don't walk straight. Oh, okay.
Wow. Way to go, Chuck.
Good to know.
Serina said something last time. She said when she put on the Meta glasses, the frames are black and bold and they block out usable vision.
It messes you up.
Yeah. I don't like sunglasses for all day use because it hinders me from my usable vision. So I need something that either changes or clear. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I did the clear ones. Yeah.
It does. I'm in the same boat. All I have is peripheral. You said you liked the more sports style, kind of larger wraparound. And that's one of the reasons why I like those types of frames on sunglasses and things like that too.
They're just across the top, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't have any kind of vertical up and down or anything like that impeding that peripheral vision.
Yeah, it's like when you put on the Meta rays, it's like, oh, I went from a 48-inch TV screen down to a, 19.
It's a big difference.
It's like someone took a big marker on my motorcycle helmet glass or something, Not that I have one anymore. But
I would hope not, Jen.
no. Hey, I fixed something, Serina.
What did you break in the first place?
I broke, you remind me I break things all the time. Instead of live from the Blind Ability Studio. This is Tech Abilities. I figured it out. It was a moment. I stopped in the house. No one was around. And I stopped and said, I did it. And now, recording live. How's that?
Oh, well, there you go. Like when they say this show was recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Yeah. Well, so much for that. A virtual studio audience.
Of just our pets,
Yeah. I just had to let the cat out of the room.
Your cat doesn't like being in the room with you, it seems.
Well, it was in here, and it was acting real, quiet, but it made itself noticed and wanted to get out.
My cat is almost 20 years old, and he will pester the living daylights out of me if I don't attend to him when he needs attention.
He's like, you're going to pay attention to me.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very needy. He's like a grumpy old man.
Wait, whoa. Not all.
Are you offended, Jeff?
I have to defend this new category that some people have been putting me into, boxing me in.
Shame on them. Who's doing this?
Well, let's start with that cat trying to imitate me.
Really? Are you needy?
We just had Black Friday. I guess I was more wanty than needy.
Aren't we all? I don't know if anyone else has this issue, but it is so hard for me not to accidentally stumble upon something, especially algorithms. I mean, they just know what I want and they'll just like, oh, here's this advertisement. Oh, here's this object. And I'm like, ooh.
Wait a second. You said accidentally. Did your phone fall down and when you picked it up, it happened to fall on the Amazon page?
Well, when you're like shopping for everybody else, I always end up landing on something that I'm like, ooh, I think I might want that. And it's so hard not to throw a few things in there for myself in the cart.
I end up taking stuff out of my cart. That's the way I do it.
Really? That's a good way to do it.
That's how I remember it. I put it in my cart. Then I go, I got 9 things in my cart. I better go see what I got.
$1,100.
Right?
I love how the first thing you land on when you go to the cart on the desktop is how much money it is. Like,
It's kind of a good thing. I like that shock.
And then you'll get the emails. Your cart is waiting for your
Yes.
attention. Better check out now.
Your cart is waiting for you. Your cart is calling.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
You better go hit that checkout and buy right now before they're gone.
Yeah.
We bought a lot of Black Friday stuff, so I can share.
I can't wait to
It's all
hear.
the stuff we said we wanted.
All right. Recording live from the Blind Ability Studios. This is Tech Abilities. I'm Jeff Thompson, and in the studio with me, Serina Gilbert. How are you doing?
Good, Jeffrey. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. And Cindy, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Jeff?
I'm doing
Hey,
good.
Serena.
Hey, Cindy. Jeff's like,
Well, I see where we collide there.
you'll fix it in post. Good thing there's a great editor. I mean, geez.
Should we back the
I
train
know.
up? Did I mess it up?
Oh, no. That editor's overpaid. He can do his work.
I know, for real.
Well, the holidays kind of put a dent in our dipping the toes into getting back on schedule here. But we're back again, and I don't know if we're going to get another one out this year, but we'll see what we can do. We got holidays coming up. Why do they put all these holidays right in a row?
Well, you have to look forward to the end of the year. It's cold and dark and gets dark at like 4:44 at night now.
I know.
We need to have something.
There's nothing. It's like you wake up, it's dark. By the time you're done working,
Yeah.
it's dark.
Yep, it's dark.
Yeah, we're in the dark ages.
Yeah, it's a downer. So I guess we got to have all the holidays, festivities, celebrations, and all the shopping madness to compensate. I don't know.
But we do start gaining time back. Is it December 21st is the winter solstice? So after that, we start going back the other way.
There you
Something to
go.
look forward to.
Yeah.
I'm ready right after the polar bear migration here in Minnesota.
Are you making that up?
Come on, Serena.
Polar bear migration? What are you talking about?
Wow. You may have been born at night, but not last night, right?
Well, I didn't know if that was some like Minnesota like thing. Like, isn't there something where everyone dives into like the
Ice,
lakes
water.
again? Yeah. Like, so I was like, is this something I don't know about? Like,
Oh, no. They cut holes in the ice if they don't break through when they're out there with their trucks and everything. And there's villages out there. They actually plow roads out on the ice and have ice houses all over the place. Grumpy old men.
that is
Yeah.
terrifying.
That is so crazy. That is terrifying. I don't like the cold very much. And I don't know about you guys, but something about ice and snow, like especially when the sunlight hits it, that glare, it hurts my eyes so much. And as my photophobia or light sensitivity has increased over the years, I've become more and more and more sensitive to snow. And it's almost to the point where it's like it's impacted my willingness to tolerate cold because I'm like, oh no, it's getting cold. What if it snows? I'm gonna have to be like inside. I don't want to look outside at all.
Are you part gremlin?
Yes.
Maybe.
Call me what you will, Jeff. I don't care. I'm just saying, I'm not a fan of the cold. All of that bright light, it just hurts.
Well, at the end of the show, we'll give you water and we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. Put me through the test.
Yeah. Black Friday. Was it good for you, Serena?
It was. I think I talked about last time we were looking for a lot of like home security things. And of course, I found other things. So we were able to get a lot of Ring equipment. Amazon had the Ring alarm package on sale for quite a bit off. I feel like it was $100 and something off. And then Costco.
That's a nice package. Yeah.
Yeah, Costco, our favorite place ever. Like we got the doorbell and some cameras from there as well. So, and then we got a smart lock on Amazon as well. So
what's Chucky been doing? Installing and sticking and putting all this stuff up?
I told him to find someone to just install it for us, to be honest.
Oh, no, I can do it.
Yeah.
Ooh, do you all use a service to help you all with like installations and building and
We'll have to look into it because when we got the Nest stuff years ago, we just used Geek Squad with Best Buy.
yeah, okay.
And they charged back then, it was $99 per device, but you got like a discount if you're doing more than one device you needed them to install. So I think we had them install like 3 devices when they did that originally.
Yeah.
But now we have a locksmith, so he can install the door lock. And this was kind of cool. So normally when you have a smart lock, your bottom lock, you just kind of have to leave it unlocked.
Yes.
Because it, won't work with the smart lock.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This one came with its own handle for the bottom lock. So I don't know if there's a lock on it or if it's just like a, just a handle, but it kind of removes that because this one, it's such a cool smart lock. You can unlock it with your fingerprint, your iPhone, I believe, or it came with its own keys. And then there's also like a touchscreen keypad on there too. It's pretty cool.
So if your phone's dead, you're not locked out of your house.
Yeah, well, and you have the fingerprint and keys. So there's there's 4 ways to get into it.
So if your phone's dead and you lost your finger and...
That is the least of your worries if you...
Yeah, that's true.
That's when, Jeff, you have someone else's fingerprint or someone else has a key or is on someone else's phone that you can say, hey, let me in my house.
Yeah, it's pretty neat having these smart devices. When they all work, it's all really good. And yeah, I like it. That's what I'm going to do with the Christmas lights. I have that on a timer. So at sunset, the lights come on the trees. I have 26 trees out front. And know what I named them?
I thought it was 27.
Wait.
The 26 are named A through Z. My granddaughter pulled up an old file and she ran through the list of all the names that we came up with. It was kind of funny.
So you name your trees. You name them.
Well, it was a joke because it ended up be 26 arborvitae trees that are out front.
Oh.
Form a big wall, and it just happened to be 26, and that corresponds with the alphabet if you're English speaking. And there's another tree on the other side of the driveway, a lilac tree. Gets these big white balls on it, and so I decorated that one so that's the 27.
Okay, I remember very vividly you saying 27 trees. So
Interesting.
Yeah, it's the CASA, C-A-S-A, HomeKit Apple Smart Plug, and it works with Siri, Alexa, and Google Home. You can plug 2 things into it, and it is weather resistant as well. You have a choice of turning one on or the other on if you had 2 things plugged into it. So they're pretty nice. I like it.
Is it waterproof and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to make sure that you're plugging it into a GFIC outlet. That's a ground fault interrupter outlet for safety. And when you plug it up into it, and the housing kind of covers all that area up. So it works pretty good. Rain, sleet, or snow, I've had no trouble with it.
Clever. We just we kind of cheated this year and got one of the projectors. So we have ours set up to where it just looks like it projects snow falling on our house every night.
Really?
Yeah, I like it. I have to say it's easy.
I have that, and I didn't have to pay a cent for it.
Jeff, let me tell you.
We just got snow.
If all of us were crazy enough to live in Minnesota, let me tell you, be a different world.
I don't know if you get this up in Minnesota, but it gets too windy here for Christmas decorations to be in the yard. We've tried so many years with inflatables and stuff, and they would always break because the wind, we get 60, 70 mile per hour winds just randomly. One night you'll wake up and there's decorations out all over the neighborhood. So we actually I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it. Have you heard of jellyfish lights? So it's permanent lighting on the house. So you can change it. We always have them on now, in the evenings. Sometimes it's just accent lights, but you can change the different colors, different holidays and things like that. So that's our decoration it's all around the whole trim of the house and things like that. And it's super cute. They install it right below your gutters essentially. So nobody can see it other than at night, if that makes sense, when they're on. Mm-hmm. They're pretty tight. They're so cool.
Oh, that's cool.
And they call it jellyfish because jellyfish, there's a special jellyfish that I guess glows in the dark. So they're LED lights. Yeah, it's super cool.
Oh, clever. I've heard of them and I've seen them. I didn't realize that's what they were called, but I've heard of people installing these things that, stay up year round.
It's hooked up to your Wi-Fi and a whole app. There's this whole control box in our garage that goes with it. It's a whole thing.
That's awesome.
It'd be green on Shamrock's Day, right?
You can put custom colors in it too. You can put
red, white, and blue for 4th of July.
No, you can literally pick hex codes and put in there. That's how custom it is. Yeah.
And then you could have Savoy Brown for Arbor Day.
Arbor Day.
Arbor Day.
We have a similar setup in our movie room. So it's these LED strip lights that kind of go around this one shelf and along areas in our movie room to kind of create movie just any kind of like lighting we want in this like den area that we have. And it's really cool. Where did you say you were from again, Serena? I forget.
Colorado.
That's right. See, I lived in Wyoming and it was the same thing. We had 60, 70-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, we were at like 8,000 feet elevation. And up there, it's just so crazy windy that it was the same thing for years and years. We could never have really any kind of yard decoration or anything. But
Yeah, they'll blow away.
If all your neighbors had them, then you could just rotate the decorations. Theirs blow into yours, yours blow into theirs.
It's so funny because that made me think of, we have a neighborhood group, of course, on Facebook. And one of our neighbors, there was like a windstorm and he went to go pick up his decoration and it was a coffin, like an inflatable coffin. And then I guess the wind blew and he like tripped and then the coffin like ran over him.
Oh, wow.
So it looked, because it was just an inflatable, so it looked like he was being run over by a coffin.
The irony.
And he was like, if somebody caught that on their Ring camera, I really need this footage.
that's funny.
I was dying laughing.
Well, okay, that's kind of like a 2-for-1. Not only did you get injured and killed in an accident, but the coffin landed right on you. It's like you saved a trip there.
Oh, it was just so funny when you posted it.
Oh, that's funny. Cindy, Black Friday, and what do we got? Cyber Monday. How was it for you?
You said that like Elmer Fudd, I just have to say.
How does Elmer Fudd say it?
Just the way you said it.
You said it like with a lisp. Yeah.
So in editing, I'll have to get that. So Cindy, Black Friday. How was it for you?
I played it pretty conservative this year. It was good. It was good. I wasn't as impressed with some of the deals more for the younger ages. I kind of wished I had seen a little bit more in that regard, but yeah, it was good. It was good. We were going to get the Meta Quest virtual VR kind of headset gaming thing for our kids.
My kid has that.
Yeah. And my husband and I, we ended up talking each other out of it. The Black Friday deal, I think, on them, we pretty much saw them universally around all the platforms around 300. And we were just going to get one for the family. And everyone we've talked to, they're like, yeah, our kids played with it for a few months, maybe 4 or 5 or 6, and then now they barely touch it.
Same with my kiddo. He'll rediscover it every once in a while, but he plays his Xbox way more.
Right. I don't know about Jeff, you or anyone else, but that type of technology, wearable technology, virtual reality type of things, I can never really engage or function or participate with because they just, again, it's that whole disruption of my peripheral vision. And so I'm like, well, so this is just going to be something my husband and the kids can do. And then my husband's not really into it. And if the kids are only going to play with it for 3 or 4 months, then why are we spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on this? So we talked ourselves out of that.
Mm-hmm. Some of them devices like that just make big hole that's missing larger.
Exactly.
If that makes sense, I don't know.
It does.
I thought a bigger TV would be better. Well, it is kind of, but it actually gets to the point where, what am I doing? I mean, I'm just trying to defeat it. My blindness follows me, so no matter what I'm doing, it's there. I got some peripheral, and everything else in the middle is. My grandson was asking me, "So what do you see? What you don't see?" I said, "Well, you don't, but." I said, it's kind of like a blending. Your brain's trying to fill it all in because your eyes kind of crisscross a little bit. They overlap left to right and stuff. So it starts to fill it in. And then the gap in between, it kind of like uses the same tone to just kind of wash that area in. So it's kind of a gray or a dark gray or a very light gray, or I don't even notice it because it's just normal for me anymore. If I want to define it, then I have to focus on that, which I can't do. And so it's hard to really pinpoint it.
Yeah, that's sort of one of the reasons why those types of gaming headsets or any kind of wearable devices, I borrowed a Patriot wearable device for a while. Gosh, that thing was so heavy on my face. But yes, it did make watching TV, it did elevate that experience visually, but still, like you said, it's almost like looking through binoculars. You can't, if you're looking at the ground using a pair of binoculars, all of a sudden now you can't see the sky. And it's like when you are limited with your peripheral that much, anytime you zoom in with any kind of wearable like that, yeah, it's like going to cut off the rest of your functional vision. So it's like there's like a cost benefit ratio there that just doesn't always seem intuitive or work out for
Yeah.
people only having peripheral vision. So
Hmm.
yeah, so we ended up taking that off the cart. That was kind of like one of those big ticket items that I was really kind of banking on for the kiddos. And so I'm going to have to replace that. And I haven't found a good replacement, a good substitution yet. So I'm open to any suggestions.
Well, if you got a suggestion for Cindy, give us a call at 612-367-6093. That's not right, is it?
We wouldn't know. Fact check.
Editor.
You mentioned the Patriot. That's like putting a phone right up to your face, but it's being held on by a pair of goggles. And someone at the state rehab council meeting one time had a pair. He's sitting next to me. And I said, oh, let me try those. And I put them on. First thing I noticed, I didn't notice the people or their faces or anything like that, but I noticed color. It just like snapped up to me because I get into this, like my vision, I do see color here and there, but with those on, it brought it right up to my face. And it was like, wow, these people wear red and green and blue. And, I didn't notice that on a daily basis. It doesn't snap that people are dressed. And I'm thinking, what am I wearing?
And it's so funny in blind life, like I forget how expressive and emotive people's faces are because I haven't seen visually a face, I haven't gotten any kind of communication or body language cues like that in so long that I have no memory of it any longer. And when I had that Patriot on, I was watching TV and I was watching one of the new Picard series, actually, which I'm a huge Star Trekkie, but I was watching that with the Patriot and I was amazed, yes, at the colors, but also I had forgotten how much like facial expressions I had forgotten and how emotive people are. Like it feels natural when I myself do it, but I never realized how much, I guess, in communication, nonverbal communication, I was missing out on, especially when watching TV.
Yeah. I think being blind and being a little bit isolated in a sense with your blindness, you kind of forget that the world doesn't stop because you can't see it.
Right.
Everybody else is still moving along and everything's changing and all that. And all of a sudden styles change and everything, what's this pink color that came back? I don't know what happened. Everything's pink.
I don't know, but the 90s baggy clothes are back. I'm actually here for it, y'all. I have to say, I'm all about some comfy baggy clothes.
Never. Like when I was in high school, I wore baggy stuff. Like I dressed like a boy in high school, I'm not even gonna lie. But now I'm all girly and like I'm like, the Jinkos, they're even bigger now than they were when I was in high school. Like it's like how do you even walk around in these?
Yeah, and and it's got to be the boot cut. Not like, I'm not talking bell bottoms, but I really love a
boot
cut. The mom jeans, I'm not going to throw them away because, y'all, I'm telling you, that'll come back in style. It's going to come back. But the boot cut, that is all me.
They flatter everyone.
Yes.
I love boot cuts. I never got rid of my boot cuts.
Yeah.
It took me forever to go to skinny jeans. And then when I did, then they were like, boot cuts and flares are back. I'm like, well, I only have 2 pairs of skinny jeans anyway. So.
Yeah.
Bring back the Bill bottoms.
Did you say bell bottoms? Bell bottoms.
Are you ready for the bell bottoms?
I had elephant pants too.
What are those?
Back in the day.
What is that?
They were about, I don't know, 2 foot round bell bottoms, way at the bottom.
Oh my gosh. Just huge.
My God.
Right at the knee, they just go woof.
Wow.
I remember I was late for class and I was running down the hall and my heels, we wore heels back then.
Your platform shoes.
Because there was disco. Yeah. And it caught my elephant bill and I hit the deck on the waxed floors. And you could just hear my skin going across the floor just.
Oh.
And this one girl, she was the only one in the hall because I was late. And she just started busting out laughing. And
that would have been me. I would have laughed too. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help it when people fall. I don't know. Something is wrong with me. It's just funny to me. I know it's terrible. Even when I fall myself, I start busting out laughing.
Something about the imagery, though, Jeff, that you just described, I'm like picturing these huge.
Yeah.
It's like, is it a skirt? I don't know. Is it a pant? I don't know. They're just so baggy. It could be a skirt. And I'm just picturing this and you running down.
With his school books in his hands
Can't
and
help
like
but laugh at this imagery.
They were low riders, you know. I mean,
my
they were so low
gosh.
on
Oh,
the
you're making it
waist.
worse.
Yeah, the zipper was only like 3 inches long. You know what I
Did
mean?
you like
just
bust your jeans up when you fell? Like, did you split them too? Like,
oh no, it just hooked my platform shoe and it just caught
how
me, and
did
I
you
just
not
went
break
down.
your ankle? Like, seriously.
I don't know. You're pretty resilient as a kid. I mean,
What color were these pants? I do need to know.
they were blue.
Like, what kind of, like, blue jeans or like
Blue jeans,
like
yeah.
powder blue? Like,
No, not powder. Come on. No, they were regular blue jeans, elephant bills, blah blah blah. It was normal.
oh my goodness. And that was probably, you were probably like, you were like, I look so good in this outfit too. Like, you were styling.
Jeff, did you rock the fringe? Did you have like a lot of fringy type of clothing in the day?
Which is coming back now.
Yeah.
No, that was just a little bit before my time.
Okay.
That's when in the 60s, though, I had older cousins that would cut the hem and then they would take a needle and start pulling that out and they'd be sitting around with incense burning and I'd be like, what are you doing?
All innocent.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you always looked up to your older cousins and stuff. And I was just so young at the time. You know, Thanksgiving just happened and all this gratitude last month and everything. You know what? I did. I went to a restaurant and me and the boys, we all sat down and the guys, my crew, we sat down and this first time we were there and I said, I'm visually impaired to the waitress and I asked, do you have this blah, blah, blah. And she goes, oh. And she just, throughout that time we were there, she would walk up and said, hi, he's passing you the salt and pepper as she walked by, you know. She didn't intervene. She was just so cash about it. She took my plate and put it in a doggy bag, you know, doggy thing, you know, container to take home because I couldn't eat that massive breakfast. So the next day I woke up and I called the restaurant and talked to the manager and I said, you know what, as someone who is visually impaired, blind, when I go into these, sometimes it becomes a spectacle or they go over the top. She was just cool. She just handled this whole situation like she's been there before and I really appreciate it and I'll be back, you know. So I made that call. And I did that to another incident. I made a call to someone at State Services for the Blind and said this person replaced a person and I had to go in there. And it was just interesting that it was such a great experience that I made a call to her supervisor or boss, whatever, and gave a compliment. And so that's something that I'm starting to do. And I just sent a message to a friend of mine that I don't see a lot, but when we do, it's like no time has passed. Just sent a little brief thing and he sent one back and we're good with that. So it's like making that extra effort to reach out. That's what I'm doing.
That is so awesome. I think, we all need a little mental reminder and kind of just something to kind of instigate and prompt us to make time for those little things, because sometimes it's those little things of efforts of gratitude and showing our appreciation that helps fill someone else's cup that day.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that makes all the difference. And it can come in so many different shapes and sizes. And thank you, Jeff, for reminding me that I need to do more of that lately, because it's been a while since I have gone the extra mile to thank someone, especially like in a restaurant or in a store, those types of settings where we experience it and we'll follow like, oh, that was nice, or oh, that was a cool experience, and then you just go throughout the rest of your day and forget to circle back and drop those little notes and things like that. And thank you for reminding me to do that, because I have not been doing that as much as I should be here lately. And that's how people learn too.
Accentuate the good.
Exactly.
That's a really good point, because I was just thinking through like recent experiences that I've had in like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had to go to the dentist. Nobody likes going to the dentist. If you do, then God bless you. The hygienist directed me in, like, as soon as she picked me up from the waiting room, she's like, hi, I'm Carmen. I'm your hygienist. Would you like to take my arm? Sure. Like, I'm not ashamed to be like, I'll just take the easier way. Like, why make it harder on myself? And then when we got to the actual room, she's like, the chair's on your right. You can put your purse on this chair over here to the left. Like, she was very specific. And I just really appreciated that, because not always, it's hit or miss. Sometimes you get the people who are like, follow me. Or it's over there, it's over here.
And you trip over the eye chart.
I know. It's always the eye doctors that I think is the funniest, though. Like, you would think that they would have the most etiquette, but even I think the last time I went to get my eyes examined, it's been a long time. I'm terrible about it because it's very depressing when you have vision loss.
Same.
I'm terrible about it.
Yes.
I think they feel failure.
Well-
They can't fix you. That's their job, and they can't do anything for you.
Their front desk staff should be trained.
Oh, yeah.
This was an ophthalmologist. This wasn't an optometrist. Like, this is an eye like specialty. And they're like, fill out this form. Like, hello, I'm holding a white cane. You know, going to the eye doctor, they yelled at me like, because this is terrible. I asked them to write me a note so I didn't have to go to jury duty, because they're not going to accept a blind person on a jury anyways. Like, why do I need to go through all that trouble of going downtown? And it's just, I don't want to waste that time. It would be cool. It'd be a very cool experience, but I don't want to waste all that time. And then they yelled at me. They were like, here's your note. By the way, you haven't been here in 2 or 3 years. You should probably come in.
Ooh, they shame you.
I know. Well, I know I should go. There's other eye health things that, we should be aware of, but it's just really depressing to go. It's not fun.
It's like your Apple Watch. All of a sudden it says, you put it back on because I'm going to wear it today. And it says,
There's a big change in your activity.
yeah, you're crushing it today.
When we were in Florida, we obviously walked a ton. And then when we got back, like, it was like, oh, there's been a change in your activity while we were there. And it was like, oh, this is awesome. But then we got back, there's been a change. You declined. I'm like, well, we're not walking 15,000 steps a day now. So I agree, Jeff. I appreciate you like bringing that to our attention, because that should be reinforced.
I think so too. And that's a good thing about this time of the year too. Like, everyone's all about consumerism. I got to buy this, I got to buy that, and I got to make this or do this. And sometimes we just kind of forget to strip everything down and take it back to the basics and just really show someone that you care and that you appreciate what they've done or how they've done something, or that, take opportunities to make it like an educational type of thing if something didn't really go the way it should have. Those types of learning experiences don't always have to be negatives either. They can have positive outcomes too, and can yield really beautiful moments as well, and get back to the basics of family, friends, life, love, laughter, and really fulfilling
You're talking about
ourselves.
Lukenbach, Texas.
About what?
Let's go to Lukenbach, Texas. Back to the basics of life.
Oh yeah.
I'm with you,
I was
Cindy.
like,
I know
I
what you're
haven't.
talking about.
Is this a song? I
It's an
clearly
old
have
country
not.
song.
Just pretend.
Let's go to
Just
Lukenbach,
smile and
Texas.
nod, Cindy.
Yeah,
Just smile and nod.
Never
doing?
mind that. Lukenbach, Texas is a population of 3. There's a post office. That's where Willie Nelson's band would stop and play, and thousands of people would come to it.
Oh.
And that's all Lukenbach is. It's just a little spit in a bucket, it's just a little thing, and if you go there, there's usually people playing guitars and stuff like that, but surely I digress.
I bet you're really good at Trivial Pursuit, Jeff.
I bet so too.
But I'm not digressing when I'm talking about a Mac Mini. I think I'm going to pull the trigger because I got the last iMac with the Pentium right at 2020 there.
Wow.
I bought the last one because my other one fried.
Uh-oh.
And I needed to get it, but they didn't come out with the M1 yet. And so I bought it and I loaded it all up and stuff like that. And so it's been, it's going on to its 5th year, 4 solid years, coming on to the 5th year, I guess.
That's the thing with Apple. They have a very large price tag in comparison, right? Like you said, like when you're looking at 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I mean, if I had any other machine, I would have replaced it 2 times over. I always tell people, like, Macs you can get a little bit more of a lifespan out of them sometimes.
I just started it when they really changed the innards of all these things. You know what I mean? The M1, the M2, M3. I like when they talk about the M4. It's 4 times faster than the M1. They don't say it's 4 times faster than the M3 because it's only seconds ahead of that, maybe. I don't know. But it's always interesting how Tim Cook and them describe the speed and fastest ever. So anyways, the M4 Mac Mini comes in at about, well, if you beef it up a little bit, like if you get the M4 Pro and bring it up to a terabyte, you'd be up around that 1,500, 1,600 almost. Then you got AppleCare, then you got this, by the time you're done, you're talking about 1,700. But if you get just the basic, which is pretty good, you could be in at $800, $900, for something like that. I mean, if you do have a iMac right now, you do have the keyboard, the Magic Keyboard, and if you have a trackpad, that's all Bluetooth. All you need is a little monitor and you're ready to go, and your external hard drives, everything hooks up to it. It's just a small thing, but you still got to put a monitor in the mix. So I've been looking at that, and I think that's what I'll do, because I get so upset. I don't have the iMac 27 again, which would be the replacement of what I have. And they have these other ones, but they don't have either they don't have the Pro or they don't have this, and it's all like, wait a second, why are you, I don't know. It seems like they got so many different varieties of everything now that it's just, and they're taking it away unless you go up to the Studio Pro, but they didn't come out with the M4 Studio Pro. Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's behind the minis. Yes.
I think they do it because people want to buy stuff before the end of the year for tax write-offs, and so they just sit on this stuff so that it sells, and then when March comes around, they come out with other stuff, and people start all over again, It's just,
Yeah.
they introduce too much at one end, then they're probably not going to get sales in March. I don't know how Tim works. I'll have to talk to Tim over lunch and figure that out.
I mean, he is your bestie.
Jeff, you touched on something that it's been a bit controversial for me and my husband. And we have debated this and we have come to our own individual unique conclusions. This is the Magic Mouse versus the trackpad for Macs. I really prefer the trackpad. I really like having the same gestures that I use on my iPad and phone to control all the assistive tech on the Mac with the trackpad. I just could not really do that very well. And I just had more frustration with the Magic Mouse. I just didn't like it. And the one that we have, the Magic Mouse, has this bright light on it on the bottom, which again, I didn't like because sometimes I really like doing a lot of my computer work in a darker room with a dark mode on, especially when my eyes are very fatigued. And so when I have a Magic Mouse and that bright light, if I move the mouse just wrong and it's like super bright to me, I just did not like that. So I'm a big trackpad fan. And they, again, aren't cheap for what they are, but I personally, for accessibility purposes, prefer the trackpad.
I'm getting into more of the key commands and all that because I'm getting to the point now where's that cursor, and I have to move it all over the screen until I can pick it up again. I remember a friend of mine that lost sight a little faster than I am tell me I really had to get into JAWS. I had to go back to JAWS because I couldn't see the cursor anymore. I couldn't do this,
Yeah.
and everything like that. And I know I'm headed that direction, but the key commands works good. I don't think I've seen a mouse on one of my systems in 15, 20 years at least.
Yeah.
97 maybe? No, 2000. I remember that ball used to get all gunky and you have to pop it out and clean it all off and stuff like that because it wouldn't move.
Yes.
That's back in the olden days. Now they're more of a laser type of thing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's that bright light.
How about you, Serena?
I have no usable vision when it comes to, so I'm a JAWS user on the PC and everything's key commands. Like the trackpads on like a PC probably don't work nearly like the ones on a Mac. And it's been a long time since I used a Mac. I used to have a MacBook Air and I gave it to my husband because I found the key combinations really cumbersome with VoiceOver. Like, I mean, you have to be like, I mean, there's just a lot you have to do. And the PC, I find it more straightforward.
I agree with that. So I have the Mac more for entrepreneurial personal stuff, but I function primarily 40 plus hours a week on a PC. I used to be JAWS, but now I'm a big NVDA supporter. Especially, I had a big advocacy campaign at work trying to get a certain branch of government to approve it as an open source screen reader to use as an alternative and supplementive accessibility testing tool. And with it being free open source, we were able to do that. So I ended up having to kind of switch from JAWS and more familiar with NVDA. I actually do prefer that environment over Mac because of the exact thing you mentioned. I like VoiceOver more on my iPad and phone, but I don't enjoy the experience as much as a hybrid user. So I use Zoom magnification and screen reader technology simultaneously. I just don't enjoy that environment on the Mac. It's not quite as user-friendly and straightforward as it is on a PC. Just my personal experience.
I was using Windows 7 when my PC fried. I went and bought a MacBook Pro, 15-inch. I came home, set it up, and that's when I started doing podcasting stuff. And I just sat down and learned it. The only way I learned it is I didn't have a computer. A lot of people were doing this, put both systems on the same computer, like Parallels does today, where you can switch back and forth. If I could switch back and forth, I would still be a PC user because I would have could done it faster. But because it fried, I didn't have that choice. So I went Mac, and now I do have a laptop, but I don't have to switch. I do my audio stuff on a Mac, which I think Macs are more in that realm of if people are into graphics or into audio and music, that's where they go. And with PC for work, I would suggest anybody in college to use a PC and learn JAWS, use NVD, use those things because that's what's going to be in the corporations out there.
Right.
The databases, all that type of platform is you're going to find someone that help you write scripts faster on using Windows software rather than using pages, numbers, or something like that. It doesn't work.
I agree with that. I think your preferences and like which one should I choose? Should I choose this one, this environment over this environment? You know, I always tell everybody, I was like, well, you're going to get used to either one. The question you shouldn't really be asking is one better than the other. It's what are you using it for? What do you need to do on it? Because if it is more artistic type of things, audio, production, or any kind of thing like that, then yeah, Mac is probably going to be the best option. But if you're just doing general accounting, business admin, any kind of, you know, just kind of the other realm, the other side of things, accessibility testing, I personally will advocate for the PC environment for accessibility testing. But it's all in what you do and then choose the machine that fits your lifestyle and what you're going to do, because the assistive tech, you're going to learn that in either environment.
I remember we were doing like, Serina, we were doing like job insights and that other stuff, what, 5-6 years ago? And you switched over to, well, the PC because the company you work for was going to Google Docs.
I'm pretty sure it probably works better because I use Google stuff personally for my business stuff too, because it's just so easy. I don't have to save things places. It's easy to access anywhere. And I love the way it works with JAWS. I don't even want to know what it would be like in the Mac environment. I'm told it works, but I don't know because I haven't touched a Mac in a while.
I remember those 2-3 weeks though when you were like a trainer came and you dug in and it was like, I'm busy.
It was great.
I'm learning this. Yeah.
That's what you got to do too. Like, I think so many of us, especially in the blind community, we get intimidated and we're like, oh, I got to learn this. Oh, I got to learn this. It goes beyond just self-discipline, but it's like self-discipline plus just biting the bullet and getting out there and forcing yourself to get down to the nitty-gritty and learn something difficult. Because once you've learned it, so many other doors open up and it gets easier and easier and easier. It's just forcing yourself to take that time to deep dive into learning something new.
Well, the only way I was going to learn the Mac is if I didn't have a PC. So I had to learn it. And I was creating skits at the time. I was creating basically audio type of, before they had audio books. I put myself on an island, literally, and just so I learned it real well. And, you know, like Serina's job, when they switched over to Google Docs, Google, the whole suite, she dug in and went that direction. And I think that's part of the thing. Like, where do we get this drive as someone who's visually impaired and stuff like that? You want to succeed at something, you're going to dig in. That's the thing. If you want to learn all this stuff all at once, you may be stuck learning a little bit about this, a little bit of that. If you want to put 17 different things on your computer and do this, you got to have a lean, mean machine, a computer, a work production machine that just does what your work does, what brings in the money, what you do. That's what I do, or that's what you do. You know, that's the thing. And when you're coming out of high school and stuff and you're thinking, what do I want to do? And there's a saying, you got to have all these tools in your pocket. Well, it's kind of nice to figure out if you want to go into accounting. Well, you probably can get there with Excel and quite a few other little programs, but they're all in that suite of Windows stuff, in a sense, or the Google stuff. You need those targets, those things to shoot for, to lock yourself up on that island to get there. You know what I mean?
It's one baby step at a time, too. I feel like a lot of people think, oh, there's so much to learn and I have to learn it all at once. No.
Yeah, and you turn around and you go, why am I on this island?
Right. And it's like, you've gone and bitten off more than you can chew, and then you're all alone, miserable on that island because it's not what you thought it was going to be, or you end up giving up because you're overwhelmed and not focused.
I mean, like being on an island where I'm just using the Mac right now. I'm just using that. I've learned how to use it in my area. And I don't feel so bad that I didn't keep up with the JAWS and everything like that, because this is what I do.
Yeah.
When you're younger, I think, you want to be able to do everything. And sometimes that gets a little bit confusing. Like, Serina, why's Trey got a Mac now?
He's super into music, like editing and things like that. So I think he's going to just end up using it for a lot of that. And then he wanted to use it for gaming and stuff too.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say gaming, because I've heard Mac isn't great for gaming, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a gamer.
Well, it's funny. He was like, I'm going to download Fortnite on it. And then he looked it up and he can't put Fortnite on it anyway. So
yeah.
I think he was mistaken when it comes to the gaming piece, but certainly for the creativity piece and things like that.
Absolutely.
They're getting there, though. They're getting there.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they've got the graphics for it. All the components are there. I just, it's just a complete different environment and operating system that I think a lot of gaming platforms maybe haven't coded and just really developed. I'm not a gamer, so I'd be interesting to hear what other people say.
Xbox and Microsoft, same company. You know what I mean? It's like, that stuff is all going to be there, Nintendo and all that stuff. And then when it comes onto computer, that's a whole nother thing. So people have these PlayStations or whatever they have, like Pong back in the day, Atari. Bringing it to the computer, that's a whole nother thing. And a lot of those people are multiplayer type of things where they're playing people across the world. I want to look into the Meta Glasses and Serina's response to them now that you've, a month now?
Yeah, I used them on my trip to Houston a couple weeks ago and tested them at the airport and at the hotel and things like that. And I've enjoyed it. I've never been able to walk through an airport by myself with any level of confidence, because airports are really easy to get turned around. And even if you're like, I just need to go to the restroom, it's really hard.
Yeah.
So I tried them out. My husband, when he dropped me off, he always gets a gate pass. So he's able to walk me all the way to the gate, which is super nice.
Oh, Chucky.
But I wanted to test them. He's so sweet. So I wanted to test them. So after we got through TSA, I asked him, I was like, can you just follow me, at a distance and just see how I do. So I got him connected to the Aira, and it's a little clunky. I hope that they're able to push for the integration where it's more seamless, because you call Aira from your cell phone, then you tell them you want to do a Meta Glasses call. They send you a WhatsApp link and you click join, and then you're connected and you're able to show them the view on your glasses. And then you got to put your phone away. And it's just a whole thing. The whole thing only takes a whole minute, but it just feels clunky.
Oh, wait. You're complaining about a minute while you're sitting at the airport?
No, but when you're trying to do something at the airport, first because I wasn't wearing my glasses the whole time, because I figured going through security, that probably would have been a problem. So once we got through security, you're getting all reorganized because they've gone through your bag and,
Your agent telling, he looks very upset.
Exactly. But it's just when you're in a situation where you feel where you need help, it's any time saved is just more independence. But once we were connected, the agent was awesome. He was like, okay, let me see where you are. And okay, you need to veer to the left. And I would just keep walking. He'd be like, oh, veer to the left again. And I asked my husband, I was like, why do I have to keep veering? He's like, because you don't walk straight. Oh, okay.
Wow. Way to go, Chuck.
Good to know.
Have you tried it with Be My Eyes yet? I'm a beta tester for Be My Eyes, and I got a notification stating that they now will sync up with the MetaQuest glasses.
I've always been so weird about using Be My Eyes because I know they're volunteers and I know that they can accept the call or they cannot. But I don't know. There's just something that makes me feel a little bit better when I'm calling and it's a paid professional and,
Yeah.
they've been trained to do this. I'm just a weirdo like that. It was great. I used it to get to the gate, and then I told my husband, I was like, I'm gonna go to the restroom and then you can just leave, because I think we had another like 40 minutes or so before boarding. Maybe it was only 20. And then when I knew they were about to board, I connected to an Aira agent again. And then I asked him to tell me like when they were calling me up, and he was like, so he was like, yeah, there's a few people gathered. Looks like they're just hanging out, like then I walked myself down the jet bridge, which was really cool. I've never done that before. And then I was going to use the agent to help me find my seat. But then as soon as you get on the plane, the flight attendants are all over you. Like, oh, let me help you find your seat.
Oh.
And you're like, I have someone helping me, but they don't really quite,
Yeah, they don't get that. Yeah.
comprehend that.
Yeah.
And then I used it at the hotel, which was a weird hotel. When you arrive at the hotel, I've never seen a hotel like this in my life. And maybe, Jeff, you have, because I know you've traveled overseas a lot. But you arrive and you're not on the floor where the lobby is. You have to go up 2 levels and then you're where the lobby is. It was really weird and really annoying. It was a very oddly set up hotel. So the agent helped me find the front desk and all that.
What I want to know is, knowing that you had them, were they all that?
It was a confidence builder for me because I'm not a solo traveler. I've never traveled solo before. I've always had a coworker with me or my family.
That's a perfect time to test them.
Exactly. I was able to find my hotel room by myself. I used them to take pictures of my room because my hotel room setup was weird too. Like, this is such a weird hotel. Because, normally you walk into a hotel and your bathroom's either directly to the left or directly to the right. Not this one. You walk in and your bed's like right there. And you're like, well, where's the bathroom? It's just a very oddly set up hotel. So I was able to take pictures.
Did they have W's on the towels and the robe? Like weird hotel?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm like, this must have been a historical building or something.
Oh,
Because
okay.
the way that it was set up was just wonky. I mean, it helped me. Like I said, I'm not a solo traveler, but I even used them to go down and sit at what they called their bar, but really it was, I don't know, there was nobody there, like literally nobody. But I would never have tried to take that on by myself without the glasses and knowing that I could just, if I got in a bind, just put my glasses on and call an Aira agent. So it helped me. And for what I wanted to do with them and what I want to be able to accomplish if I go out and about on my own and I get in a bind, I think they're great. In an airport, it's really disconcerting to be just holding your phone while walking through a busy airport.
Yeah, I get that.
Even in a hotel or when you're traveling, you're just vulnerable,
Hands-free. That's
Yeah.
the
That's what
biggest
it was
thing.
about for me, was the hands-free piece.
And I think a lot of people haven't caught on yet that your glasses can also have a camera. It's a little bit more discreet. There's so many
Yes.
people that are holding their cameras up now, and it's obvious they're taking a picture or taking a video. And some people get pretty, not really defensive, but, they don't really appreciate, people just doing that, without, it's just not very courteous and respectful to other people that may not want to be on camera around you as you're taking, your selfie or whatever the case may be. I can see where those glasses could be more discreet and so much easier, that hands-free if you're carrying luggage, you've got kids in tow, whatever the case may be. I can see that as an environment where those would really come in handy.
Yep.
Kids are like guide dogs. Come on.
I know.
My kid does help me a lot, but he shouldn't have to, and
No, but sometimes it's
it
a
made
group.
me. Yes, I get it. I totally get it. But
Yeah.
it was empowering. It really was.
That's awesome.
The other day, this is so gross, but anyone who has a dog understands this. I used it to identify if my dog had an accident somewhere, and he had. So it helped. I didn't use Aira for that. I used just the AI built into it.
The thing is, Google came out with the glasses first, and
They just were weird looking, though.
public opinion said that people didn't want you coming into a restaurant with that red light glowing.
Oh,
It really got a bad rap about them, so they kind of faded away from that idea.
These have an LED light too, though, when you're
what
recording.
Meta does now is their AI will not describe a person.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you ask, how old is this person? They won't not. They
It's
will not.
weird. Yeah. Google's won't either.
But they're trying to build that. Well, that's kind of the software fix, so people feel a little bit better that they're not taking pictures of people or getting descriptions of everything like that. So it's a tough area that they're going to be going down this road with, having these Meta glasses, especially with AI.
Yeah, I think it's the AI thing, that has a lot of people I guess, waking up to the full potential. It can be used for good or bad, but it is we, the humans that are employing this new technology that make it good or bad. You know what I mean? It in and of itself isn't. And I think if it's obvious they are using it for accessibility purposes, I think there's potential there to be life changing, progress there.
But that doesn't work in public. When she's using them, the attendant on the plane just took over, like she didn't even hear her. No, someone's helping me. She didn't hear that, and she just kept. So the accessibility part, we know it's there, but to the other people, they see a pair of glasses, so they're not even thinking about it and stuff like that. It's very discreet. It's almost like when you have your phone. If you're not using the glasses, if you have your phone, people come up. Can I help you? Because you look lost. You're aiming your phone. You're looking.
Yeah. Can you stop? Can you
Yeah.
pan? Yeah.
It's a magnet, you get 17 people helping you, and that's the thing. They're random people. And that's the difference between Be My Eyes or Be My AI. No, Be My Eyes and Aira is you got 17 random people helping you. That seems like a good thing. But with Aira, you have an agent that is vetted, that has GPS, that has a dashboard, that has, oh, you're going to this restaurant. Let me pull up the menu. Oh, you got, there's so much more there. Yes, you have to pay for it, 5 minutes free, blah, blah, blah. But when Serina said that, it's that weird feeling. Like, I think I said this before, like pulling out your bank card at a bus stop and saying, hey, can someone read me my bank card numbers for me? And everyone leans in with their phone, takes pictures of your bank card.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, that's not a good thing, So, but with the Aira agent, they got the HIPAA and they got the PCI certificates that make you feel a little more secure.
Yeah. And since it was a work trip, I was able, Colorado as an accommodation for me. Like I have access to Aira whenever I need it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there wasn't that fear of, oh my gosh, what if I don't get connected and things like that. There was one time I tried to call and I don't know what time of day it was, but it took a little while to get an agent. It might have been like that 5 o'clock hour, which I'd imagine is pretty busy across the United States because it was like 5 Central when I was trying to call them, I think.
Yeah, but you're calling from a weird hotel.
I'm sorry. The other thing that is really frustrating, and I don't know how to solve this problem, is elevators. Oh my God, I hate elevators. Finding the buttons and all that, but you don't have help while you're in the elevator because you lose the signal in the elevator.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's like going through a tunnel on a train.
Yeah. And they stay on there with you. I think that they know that might happen because as soon as I exited the elevator, he was right back on with me. But I was like, it's really hard to find buttons in an elevator.
Braille.
Would the AI and the glasses assist at that point, or would they depend on some kind of...
It's internet dependent.
Gotcha.
I mean, I can find where the buttons are. It's finding the right button to push with the tactile markings and things like that.
Technically, by the time you leave after your whole stay at that hotel, you got to figure it out.
No, not this one. Like it was just nothing made sense the way it was laid out in the elevator buttons.
Screws me up sometimes at hotels is when you walk into this bank of elevators and they're on the left and the right, and all of a sudden it goes ding or ding ding, and all of a sudden you go, oh, it's going up. So you go over there and you get off, but now you're on the other side. No, you're going up, but when you get off, you come off the elevator facing the opposite way that you're used to, and you take a right, and all of a sudden boom. It's like, wait, where am I? Oh, I'm on this side. Oh, I'm used to using that elevator. It's just, but, how many times are you in that hotel? Do you have to master it, or do you just, hey, that's what happens.
Just enough to get by. Yeah.
Yeah, just enough. Just like airports until the Denver airport.
I flew out of the Colorado Springs one, mister.
Oh, really?
I love our Colorado Springs airport. It's quiet. There's only 15 gates. You get through TSA, like even if you don't have pre-check, probably 10 minutes tops.
Yeah.
And then the gates are like right there. Like I said, there's 15 gates. You can walk the whole corridor in like 7 minutes or something.
Yeah, we got the Lindbergh and the Humphrey. They're right next to each other, but one of them is this mega, and the other one is like just a row. And you walk in, you can get anywhere from that door almost.
Yeah,
I like that because that's where like Sun Country comes out of that one, and other ones like that, where the other one is Delta, the big ones, international, all that stuff.
We're gonna have an international flight that'll come from the Springs starting in June from the Springs to Cancun. It'll be our first international destination ever.
Isn't Colorado Springs one of the fastest growing countries? It's almost a country. Fastest growing metropolis in the States?
No, I just saw there was a story just the other day, Greeley, randomly, which is like north of us, like pretty far north, like almost Wyoming. Like they've had some pretty significant growth. We're pretty kind of stagnant right now.
Oh, that must have been the last 4 or 5 years. You guys were on a big growth. That whole area was, for a while. I'm glad you slowed down.
I've heard Colorado Springs is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a beach girl. Like, I can't even swim, but I just like being near a beach. Like, so I'm like, when we retire, we'll be moving somewhere warm.
Why? Because you think all the houses in Colorado Springs have jellyfish lights?
Mm-mm. That one wasn't a good joke, Jeff.
No, I got to look that up.
They're on Facebook, yeah.
Because I put my lights up last year and I left them on this year. And the trees grew much better, straighter and all that. They kind of held them together with the lights on it. But, on arborvitae trees, the bottoms kind of thin out a little bit. And so I have like 2 rows of lights that are hanging on the ground almost. So I got to go out there and kind of pull up its skirt or something, I got to go doctor it up just a little bit. But it looks really nice because they grow around them and they're kind of in them instead of just sitting on the outside. So it's a different type of glow this year. So like interesting. I think I'm like it because I'm lazy. I don't want to go fix it all. I just want to fix up the bottom part. It looks good, I guess. Maybe my eyes are just worse. They're not glowing as bright as they used to.
Looks good to the blind guy.
Yeah. 2 thumbs up.
Yep.
Did you guys do resolutions? Anybody?
I do not because I'll make it and then I'll forget what it was and not keep doing it. So
yeah, and pretty soon you're doing it and you go, oh wow, that lasted 3 days. How about you, Cindy? You a resolution girl?
I try to have a goal. I try to be more like just goal oriented and try to think of like new goals for the year. That way, the pressure of like maintaining, I'm very intentional about how I approach it. And I try not to use resolution because to me, it has this added pressure. And I don't want any more pressure and responsibility in my life. So I try to just like frame it in a way that puts me in the right mental space. And if I don't reach my goal, that's okay. I never have to stop trying. That's the beautiful thing about a goal. As long as it's achievable, than a resolution. Resolutions just have this negative connotation to me. I don't know why.
It should just be a nudge. I'm going to nudge myself in this direction, this way. Are you going to really hold yourself to this thing that you create? I don't know. I don't really do them. Like I said, I want to appreciate people that do good and let them know it or give feedback back to people when it's due instead of just thinking about it and not doing it. So that's my kind of goal that I got going, but we'll see how that goes, Oh, and by the way, you guys did so great on this podcast. I just want to let you know that.
Look at Jeff practicing what he preaches.
Aww. Way to slip that in, Jeff. Well done.
Well, Serina, Cindy, it's been great. And Cindy, I know your audio has been cutting out here and there. I don't know what's going on in Tennessee, but I'm glad you made it through the show.
Just
here.
Tennessee.
Maybe it's the cold weather.
Cold weather?
I'm glad I made it to the end.
I need to know what temperature it was today there.
I think right down the Midwest, all the way to Florida. Florida was like 38.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be so mad if I was at Disney and it was like 40 degrees.
The entire southeastern region.
I know. They better protect our oranges, peaches.
It was 54 here today.
The whole southeastern region, we got hit.
54?
You're warmer than us in Tennessee.
Oh, wow. It was 15 this morning.
Ouch.
That's why I don't live in Minnesota.
Yep, ditto.
All right. I want to thank everyone for listening. This has been Tech Abilities, recorded live in the Blind Abilities studio. I like that.
And then it's edited. And then cue our funky music, right?
And for more podcasts with the Blind News Perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com, on Twitter at blindabilities, and give us a call at 612-367-6093. Leave us a message and let us know if we can put your voice on the next podcast. Drop us an email at info@blindabilities.com and download the free Blind Abilities app from the App Store and Google Play Store. That's 2 words, Blind Abilities. And from all of us here at Blind Abilities, stay well, stay informed, and stay strong. I want to thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed. And until next time, bye-bye.
When we share
what we see through
each other's eyes, we can then begin to bridge the gap
between the limited
expectations
and the reality
of blind abilities.
and the realities of blind abilities.